If you like the beach, the mountains, the people, and the history, nothing beats Gran Canaria. In today's episode of Bufflunch, I take you to my family's hometown, Las Palmas, in a little island in the middle of the Atlantic called Gran Canaria. Most people know this place for its magical scenery, awesome surfing spots, tourist destinations, and parties, but I want to take you to some of my favorite places to have breakfast, eat some ice cream, and have some great food. Every year when I visit, though, I have my mandatory hike to El Roque Nublo, probably the most iconic landmark in all the island. But this is a Bufflunch video, so let's talk food. Next to the summit, you are greeted by some local food. Here they will make you a bocadillo or sandwich with local ingredients sourced from the nearby town of Teror. This was a chorizo and cheese sandwich. This is an impossibly soft white cheese accompanied by a chorizo that almost acts as a pate of sorts, based on paprika, salt, white wine, spices, garlic, bacon, and lean meat. You simply can't miss it. It has a unique flavor. After enjoying the amazing views, I went back to the Christmas festivities. So let's fast forward to a special place in the city. Las Palmas is home to the buzzing Triana, a famous avenue covered in shops that opens into little side streets with great places to dine. I start my day by strolling all of the wonderful Triana to get to the old town of Vegueta, where I visit its gorgeous market and stop by for some churros. Now you may know churros for looking a bit like this. But those you know are called churros madrileños, or churros from Madrid. The churros madrileños are served thinner, but these are more traditional and are cooked much thicker, fluffier, and served with some delicious dark chocolate. I have fond memories of this place, coming with friends and family after long nights to have a few churros for breakfast at the Churreria del Mercado, where you can get a portion of churros that will fill a grown man for only €1.20. It's a lovely treat to start your day. I came here on Christmas to visit family, and I was greeted by none other than Santa himself. I got a nice little lollipop for this too. Now you may be wondering why I'm alone and there's no cameraman. Well, let's just say my cameraman was having his own enjoyment of what Gran Canaria has to offer. Second, I took a stroll around the old town of Vegueta just before lunchtime. You can probably tell it's all a little empty. This is normal, as most people were working at this time. After a day of strolling and reminiscing around the beautiful cathedral, parks, and buzzing atmosphere, I headed once more to Triana to meet my cameraman, who was joining me for a meal in the beautiful restaurant of Allende. Allende is a staple of Las Palmas. It has evolved its menu over the years, mixing in popular flavors amongst the locals with traditional Canarian recipes. Today we had papas arrugadas, or wrinkled potatoes, croquetas de Puchero, or soup croquettes, gyozas de jamón serrano, or Serrano Ham Gyozas, which is an interesting take on mixing a traditional Japanese side with Spanish staple flavors, and finally, huevos rotos con chistorra, or broken eggs with chistorra, a concentrated version of chorizo for those who aren't familiar with the term. First, for the papas arrugadas. These are a Canarian staple. They may look simple, but there are some complex flavors going on here. These potatoes are boiled and then wrinkled with a large amount of salt, and then they are served with a special Canarian sauce called mojo. This sauce is made of local pepper varieties, garlic, paprika, cumin, or coriander, and olive oil. It has a very unique citrusy flavor that balances the saltiness of the potatoes perfectly. Next, the croquetas. Now, if you haven't had croquettes, you must. What's special about these is that they are filled with a meat and vegetable puree, which give them such a rich flavor. These are served with the famous Spanish alioli or aioli, which is a sauce based on garlic and olive oil. Very creamy, very garlicky. The next one was a unique one for me. I had never had Japanese gyozas be served with Serrano ham, but my cameraman spoke super highly of these, so I had to give them a go. I gotta say, hands down, we need more Japanese-Spanish fusion in our lives because they are delicious. You've got a soft gyoza wrapping with a strong Serrano ham flavor that just explodes in your mouth as soon as you bite through it. Not to mention the garlic sauce to give the entire experience more depth, and that alfalfa sprouts giving it another layer of texture. I can't even. Next, on to the huevos rotos. Huevos rotos, or broken eggs, get served in a variety of ways. Allende opts for serving them with more flaked potatoes rather than chips or boiled potatoes. Now, this is fine by me because it made for a unique pairing with that rich chistorra. If you haven't had chistorra, this is basically a chorizo sausage but maxed out in flavor. With more subtle flavors from the egg and potatoes, it makes for such a great, generous lunch. After our time in Allende, my cameraman went back to his things. But I decided to do a quick stop at a local ice cream shop. This time, I didn't go to the more traditional one in Triana called Girlache. I highly recommend it though, it is amazing. But a side street one that is popular around town called Gelizia. Personally, the texture of the ice cream here and the fact that they serve a particular flavor I adore is the reason I keep coming back. I had a scoop of dulce de leche or condensed milk ice cream and the Gofio ice cream. Now, if you are unfamiliar with either of these flavors, I highly recommend you try Gofio in particular. This is a flavor you can only find in the Canary Islands. Gofio is primarily a type of flour made of a variety of roasted grains. The flavor is quite unique. Some families mix it into their baby bottles for their toddlers. I had this growing up, so it brings some fond memories of my younger years. I never ever skip having this when I'm back home. Now, any of the descriptions I can offer you via video wouldn't do these flavors justice, but let's just say that Gofio has a floury texture. You can almost taste the grain mixed within the ice cream. It has hints of earthiness, nuttiness, wheat, and almost like an aftertaste of whole grain cereal. Frankly, the more I speak, the more I feel like I'm butchering it, so don't base it on my description. Please try it for yourself. And that's it, right? Well, it isn't. Las Palmas is full of interesting places to eat, and we will be coming back here for more, but before we end this video, I wanted to share another important part of my personal heritage, tequeños. Tequeños are not Canarian, but Venezuelan, and since Venezuela is where I was born and raised, I thought it prudent to bring you to Tequepisco, the only tequeño mini factory in all of Las Palmas. What are tequeños? Well, they are cheese sticks, but are they normal cheese sticks? No. The cheese used is much saltier and the kneaded dough surrounding it has a high content of butter. This gives tequeños a unique taste to your traditional breaded cheese stick. You can also make it of so many different flavors like ham and cheese, chocolate, mixing in sweet with salty, which is what I did today, adding a thin stick of guava. It is remarkable how much variety you can get out of tequeños, but it definitely isn't for the faint of heart. These little guys pack a punch, and they are quite filling. I accompanied these with a staple Venezuelan drink called Chicha. Chicha is a drink based off rice and condensed milk, and as the description would suggest, it is very heavy. It is typically served with loads of ice and topped with cinnamon, almost like having a dessert drink. Trust me though, that in a hot summer's day in the beach, this is such a lovely drink to sip on, and since I can't get it anywhere where I live, I decided to go for it for my pseudo dinner. And now, I promise this is it for today's video of some unique flavors that can be found in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. It isn't everything this place has to offer at all. There's tons of varieties of seafood, amazing meats, and not to mention what the Canaries is famously known for, its cheese. But we will leave that for another episode. Let me know what you thought. If you like this style of video, please comment below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe for more. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Chatting different, can't you see I'm winning? Come on, get with it. Fly British boy, I'm in the end, it's just beginning, yo. Give me a minute.